This year marks the 10th edition of the Global Talent Competitiveness Index. We now have a very rich picture of how nations and cities have competed to attract and nurture talent over the past decade. In the 2023 rankings, Switzerland maintains its lead as the most talent competitive country, with Singapore and the United States closely following. These top three countries have been consistent over the past decade. Denmark, the Netherlands, Finland, Norway, Australia, Sweden and the United Kingdom make up the rest of the top 10. In the top 25, European nations hold a significant presence, with 17 of them making the cut. Beyond Europe, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the United Arab Emirates, South Korea and Israel join the top 25. The most notable change in the top 25 this year is that for the first time, it no longer includes Japan, which was replaced by South Korea. One of the major trends that we have seen over the past decade is that talent inequalities remain high among countries. Year after year, we've seen an unwavering link between a country's wealth and its talent competitiveness. Richer countries continue to outshine poorer economies on the global talent stage. Even when inequalities show signs of receding, they remain substantial.
Over the past decade, the top 10 most talent competitive countries have remained steady. Remarkably, 8 of the top 10 countries this year were also in the inaugural top 10 in 2013. While you have seen stability at the top and persistent inequalities in the global talent landscape, changes are brewing beneath the surface. And where do those changes come from? It's basically from emerging markets. If we take the combined GDP of the E7, meaning the 7 top emerging economies, they are comparable to the G7. Actually, if we take in PPP terms, they could be even higher. So how does that translate into talent competitiveness? We see China's rise in the rankings, moving from 47th to 40th place, highlights the potential for emerging economies to challenge the existing global talent hierarchy. A closer look at the decade-long GTCI time series reveals that several of the largest emerging economies are progressing. China has improved its GTCI score and become a talent champion. And Indonesia and Mexico have taken great strides in talent competitiveness. While Brazil is still among the talent laggards, it has progressed within that quadrant and may well soon classify as a talent mover. All 4 countries have improved in their ability to retain talent. Since 2020, the share of countries from Latin America and Western Asia and Middle East that are talent champions has also increased.
Over the past decade, talent inequalities have persisted within societies. Despite progress in reducing gender gaps, women continue to face unequal pay and limited career growth. In many poorer and emerging economies, the gender divide is even stronger, as girls struggle to access higher education. While COVID-19 worsened these divides, pushing some to irreversible levels, the post-COVID recovery may deepen them even further. AI and new work practices are changing the job landscape, affecting both unskilled and highly skilled workers. The onset of COVID reshaped our global talent landscape. New norms have emerged and are here to stay, including remote and online working. Talent, especially for high-skilled workers, is no longer bound by physical location. More individuals can now choose where they live and work. Our analysis showed that the correlation between a country's quality of life and its talent performance was strong before COVID and will only grow stronger in years to come. It is also very important to stress that, besides countries, cities have also become prominent players on the global talent scene. In 1990, 43% of the global population lived in cities. Today, that figure is as high as 56% and is predicted to surge to nearly 70% by 2050. Through our Global City Talent Competitiveness Index, we have witnessed the rise of new talent hubs in cities around the world. Core issues such as sustainability, innovation, and talent have shifted from national to local governments. Over the years, we've seen medium-sized second-tier cities deploying dynamic and attractive talent policies, overtaking larger cities.
Before the COVID pandemic, we identified a positive trend of global brain circulation, rather than brain drain or brain gain. Operating in diverse geographic and cultural contexts has become a sought-after trait for the global workforce. In fact, recent research has shown the benefits for those who have super global careers, as they have moved countries multiple times. However, the pandemic disrupted the flow of talent across nations. While travel has resumed and hybrid work became widespread across industries and countries, persistent uncertainties and geopolitical tensions continue to hinder direct cooperation and limit talent cross-fertilization. The 2021 edition of GTCI warned that the post-COVID recovery might follow a K-shaped trajectory, deepening inequalities among workers based on their skills. The upper branch of the K represents workers in strategic sectors, equipped with future-ready skills, while the lower branch spells a challenging path for less skilled or adaptable workers. Interestingly, we found that younger generations, especially the well-educated, didn't necessarily prioritize high-demand skills. Many look for meaningful jobs where they can contribute to society or desired a healthier work-life balance. Gigs and short-term contracts have also become the new norm for a growing number of workers.
What will the future of talent competitiveness look like over the next 10 years? Our analysis indicates that talent competitiveness will gain even more importance as a driver of competitiveness, innovation, and geopolitical soft power. This will be true for nations, for cities, and organizations alike. Talent competition will grow fiercer. As uncertainties and international tensions accumulate, we should expect more rather than less talent wars. Domestic labor market challenges and rising nationalism will further intensify these battles. In the next decade, we predict that cities and regions will pioneer new talent strategies and innovation. Quality of life and sustainability will be pivotal for cities to establish themselves as talent hubs.
Inequalities in global and local labor markets will take different forms. Global talent-focused policies will be crucial to prevent tensions and harness human and tech potential for a better, more sustainable world. The world of work will further transform, driven by evolving expectations from younger generations, new economic models, and emerging technologies like AI. In this rapidly changing and uncertain decade ahead, skills and education will remain vital tools to empower workers to make meaningful contributions to their economies and societies. And while these are only predictions, in the last 10 years, the GTCI has often anticipated trends before they unfold. So stay tuned to witness what the 11th edition has in store. Thank you.